Before the sun can touch the horizon, Nigeria has passed its first judgment of the day: adapt or die. In this labyrinth of water, forest, grass, and sand, every drop is a spoil of war, every shadow a territory to be held by the tooth. The water's edge becomes a seat of power. The herds tighten their ranks, the weak fall back, and the opportunists lurk, awaiting what is left. Beneath a rustling forest canopy, a scent upon the wind, a track upon the earth, a single misstep will decide a fate. Out on the searing sand, tall grass hides grim reaper. A half-beat too slow is paid for in flesh and blood. The semi-arid margins grind all pride to dust, as fang, horn, and claw meet in clashes that grant no quarter. The cycle of rain and drought revolves like a great millstone. The rising waters expand the arena of existence before the searing sun enforces its discipline, leaving no room for excess. Here, even the slayer becomes the slain. A meal changes masters in a single breath, and victory reeks of fresh blood. Nigeria, where the battle for survival roars. The south listens to the rhythm of water, where the Niger Delta fans out, nourishing mangroves teeming with life. Beneath the murky brown water, crocodiles lie as still as statues, waiting for the tide's turn to unleash their ancient power. Further inland, the rainforest canopy is dense and humid, its pulse a thrum of insects, primate calls, and unseen movements. The ancient forests of Cross River shelter chimpanzees, drills, and leopards, shadows that glide beneath the darkened canopy. Here, survival is the art of vigilance, where a rustling leaf conceals a secret and every scent is a warning. Where the trees thin, the story turns harsher, the sun burns, and watercourses retreat into the sand. On the semi-arid fringe, adaptation is not a choice, it is the fine line between breathing and oblivion. Then, from the dust, a miracle unfolds. The Hadejia Nguru wetlands spread out, a green lattice of hope. From Europe and Asia, they follow the stars and the wind, descending upon this liquid sanctuary to rest and gather strength. People here live in concert with the land and its seasons. Here, the wild is not separate, it is a living companion, a sacred presence in daily life. In the heart of Nigeria's untamed lands, a silent shadow roams. This is the leopard, Africa's most elusive predator, wrapped in gold and armed with a chilling intelligence. In the ancient rainforests of southern Nigeria, it moves like a phantom, undetected, unheard, unseen. Its roseate coat dissolves into the dappled light, vanishing amongst ancient ferns and tangled vines. Unlike the roaring lion or the whooping hyena, the leopard communicates in silence and sudden death. It is a creature of shadow and patience, waiting hours for the single, perfect moment to strike. Across the golden grasslands of the savanna, it stalks quietly through the shade of scattered trees. When the moon is high and the air is still, it becomes the uncrowned king of the night. Solitary by nature, it trusts nothing but its own instincts, its power, and its silence. It does not rely on speed alone. It triumphs through precision, patience, and impeccable timing. It can wait, tracking its prey for miles, only to unleash a lightning-fast ambush. An assault so swift, the prey sometimes never registers the face of its executioner. Dawn breaks over the African savanna, painting the dew-kissed grasslands a shimmering gold. The ground glitters with morning dew, and the scent of wild grasses drifts on the tranquil air. But beneath this serene beauty, a predator is awake, silent, lethal, and cloaked in shadow. In the tall grass, its golden coat blends perfectly with the landscape. Every footstep is a breath of patience, every pause a calculation. Its gaze is locked on a herd of impala grazing in the distance, entirely unaware. Elegant creatures with twitching ears and gentle eyes, completely oblivious to the danger that stalks so near. The leopard crouches low, its body pressed to the earth, a flattened shadow in the golden grass. Eyes fixed, paws moving with soundless grace. Its breathing slows. The target is chosen. A young impala strays from the herd. Now, like a thunderbolt, the leopard explodes towards the impala with devastating power. It strikes the flank, bringing its victim down, and follows instantly with a suffocating bite to the throat. The impala struggles in desperation, but its herd can only watch, helpless against such a powerful assailant. After a brief struggle, the breathing stops. The leopard drags its prize to a safe place to feast undisturbed. On Nigeria's golden plains, a mother leopard hauls an impala up an acacia tree. There, her cub is waiting for the meal to arrive. A misstep. The carcass tumbles from the branch and falls to the ground. The sound of the falling kill does not escape the sharp ears of a hyena. From the thorn scrub, a spotted hyena emerges, ears pricked, nose testing the air for blood. It moves with purpose, its gait measured, yellow eyes glinting, lips curled in a sinister grin. The leopard sees the intruder and wastes not a breath. She swiftly secures her prize high in the branches, protecting it from this notorious thief. Elsewhere on the plains, a family of warthogs appears, their snouts busily rooting in the soil for their morning meal. The piglets scurry between their mother's legs with soft grunts, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. In the shade of a thorn bush, a leopard's eyes are fixed on the sounder. It does not hurry, it waits. Patience is the cardinal virtue of the perfect predator. In the center of the group, two boars suddenly grow tense. They charge. Dust flies as their tusks collide. Their grunts escalate into a primal symphony of territorial fury. A frightened piglet caught in the chaos is knocked aside by an adult and bolts in panic. But it is unaware that its chosen path leads directly into a trap laid in sullency. Muscles coil, breath slows, and then an explosion of movement. The leopard springs forward, a dark blur of speed. The piglet barely sees it coming. A shadow hurtles from the side. Speed and precision meet in a fatal embrace. A single squeal rips the air, sharp, sudden, and then silenced, swallowed by canines closing on a soft throat. There is no celebration in victory. Only the quiet consumption of a hard-won prize. Another morning begins on the Nigerian savanna. A young baboon suddenly yelps with excitement. Beneath an old tree stump, amber-colored honey oozes from a hidden hive, glowing like treasure in the sun. But honey is a prize for the brave. Without hesitation, it thrusts a hand into the nest. An angry swarm of black bees erupts, stinging its hands, chest, and face like living needles. Its face contorts, teeth bared in pain. But it is undeterred. It digs deeper, its fingers closing around the liquid gold. It retreats, panting, and tastes the honey, its eyes closing in defiant satisfaction. A sweetness earned through pain and unrelenting will. But the sweet scent drifts on the wind to another. A younger male, driven by hunger, approaches the scattered prize. The dominant male gives a low growl, a soft warning. The younger male hesitates, then barks back boldly, challenging authority with the fire of youth. The troop leader immediately feigns a retreat, and the two young males give chase, thinking him routed. But they are mistaken. He draws them out to separate them, then suddenly turns, dealing with each challenger one by one. It is a painful lesson in the unyielding hierarchy of the troop. A troop of over 30 baboons is crossing a stretch of dense grassland. They have left one foraging ground behind, and now move through perilous territory. Concealed by shoulder-high grass, the powerful males lead the way, scanning for any sign of movement. Every blade of grass could be a hiding place. At any moment, a predator could erupt from cover. Then, the lead male spots them, the silent hunters. Three cheetahs, moving low and lethal, glide through the grass like whispers of death. A ripple of fear spreads through the troop. Mothers clutch their infants tighter. Just as panic is about to take hold, the old, scarred leader, wise and ferociously brave, makes his move. With a thunderous bark, he charges down from a termite mound, arms raised, his cry tearing the air. Behind him, three other males follow, matching his pace, screaming in fury and defiance. The cheetahs halt, eyes wide, muscles coiled, taken aback by the sheer audacity of the baboons. With order restored, the troop begins its steady march out of the grasslands. The tree line ahead promises shade, water, and respite. A sanctuary from the dangers of the open plains. In this wilderness, speed is not always the greatest strength. It is about unity, timing, and a fearless will. And today, the baboon troop chose not to run, but to fight. And in doing so, they survived. On the savanna, the hunter does not always win. Sometimes, it is the prey who has the final say. In Nigeria, the rhythm of life revolves around two distinct seasons, the wet and the dry. When the rains arrive, the earth opens, rivers swell, and the grasslands awaken from a long slumber. The air is heavy with moisture, herds gather, and life spreads like a carpet of new green. This is a time for birth, for nurturing, and for building strength for the days ahead. Then the rains recede, the sky clears, and the dry season begins its slow, heavy tread. The heat intensifies, water retreats into hidden pockets, and the plains turn a tired, burnished gold. In this landscape, every creature moves with greater caution, measuring each step with instinct and experience. The distance to food grows longer, encounters become tense, and choices are few. Water becomes the meeting point, the line between risk and opportunity, between patience and haste. The stillness here is not peaceful. It is a strategy for survival under a punishing sun. Each dawn tests endurance, each noon tests courage, and each sunset measures the will to live. The Great Savanna is a vast stage where the weather directs, and time is the judge. The strong survive not by might alone, but by conserving energy, by waiting, and by knowing when to retreat. The vulnerable endure through unity, by seeking shade and by heeding the whispers of ancient tracks. As the hardship deepens, the laws of the wild become simple and absolute. And then, from a distance, the scent of damp earth returns, heralding the endless cycle of the seasons. In the distance, a herd of zebras grazes in tranquility. Their iconic black and white coats dazzle in the sunlight. Suddenly, two young stallions begin to chase and spar. What began as a playful jaunt has escalated. Their actions now carry a sharper edge. The light-hearted shoves have given way to earnest blows. They rear up together, lashing out with their four hooves. The pair circles, muscles taut, with a ferocious gaze locked upon one another, poised to retaliate. Exhausted but not defeated, they pause for a moment, face to face. Two sets of eyes meet in an unyielding stare. Neither is prepared to submit. Then they charge once more, a contest of pride and standing. At last, one of them yields and makes his retreat. The victor stands in triumph, head held high, his mane catching the morning breeze. A familiar peace settles back over the grassland. And the herd, unperturbed, continues to graze. Dawn arrives, and another power awakens on the savanna. A pride of lions emerges from the tall grass, their bodies sleek and focused, their gaze sweeping the horizon. Ahead, a lone wildebeest grazes peacefully, unaware of the approaching threat. A lioness lowers her body, creeping closer, her eyes locked on a wildebeest at the edge of the herd. The wildebeest hears the thunder of paws and instantly bolts. The signal is received, and the entire herd stampedes across the plain. But the wildebeest's speed is no match for the lioness. She sinks her sharp teeth into its neck, aiming to sever the breath. The wildebeest fights back with all its might. It bucks and thrashes, goring at the lioness with its horns, but she will not be dislodged. She holds fast to its throat until the breathing fades and the great animal slowly collapses. The wildebeest falls, defeated, as the rest of the pride closes in. The lions sink their canines into the flesh, beginning the feast they fought so hard to win. In another corner of the woodland, the pride emerges once more, bodies moving with fluid purpose, eyes scanning the horizon. And that gaze falls upon a herd of buffalo crossing the dry plains. A lioness drops low, stalking closer, her eyes fixed on a buffalo at the herd's edge. But a mature bull senses the danger. It snorts, head high, muscles tense. The formidable bull charges directly at the lions. The pride immediately fans out, beginning a coordinated assault. they surround their quarry. The buffalo fights fiercely, spinning and hooking with its horns to defend itself. A lion leaps onto the buffalo's back, its claws digging deep into its hide. Others attack the legs and flanks, slowly weakening the colossal animal. The bull's strength wanes, its legs trembling under the weight of its wounds. It collapses, overcome, as the entire pride swarms over it. They drive their canines into the flesh, beginning the feast they battled so hard to secure. Sometimes the target is smaller, but no less crucial for survival. Further on, a sounder of warthogs appears, their snouts digging for roots. Again, a lioness sinks low, moving silently through the tall grass. The predator's gaze locks onto a young warthog at the edge of the group. Suddenly, she charges with terrifying speed. The warthogs scatter in panic, squealing as they flee into the scrub. With a final, powerful pounce, the lioness secures her prey. She drags her prize to a shaded spot beneath a tall tree and begins to enjoy her reward. On this vast savanna, every day is a lesson in power, opportunity, and the price of life. The pride quietly continues its hunt. In the grass that swallows them whole, the lions spot another family of warthogs diligently digging for food. The lions repeat their daily rehearsed tactic, sink low, approach the target, and then launch the attack. The warthog flees with all its might, but it cannot outrun its fate as a meal for the pride. In the silence of the desert, where life persists on small miracles, a creature perfectly adapted to this harsh world begins its journey. It is a horned viper, a master of predation. Its body, a marvel of evolution, flows over the hot rock with an uncanny grace, leaving behind a serpentine track like a cryptic message. Its forked tongue flickers incessantly, a sensitive radar tasting the air for signs of water, of life, and perhaps a meal. And there, a desert jerboa, its powerful hind legs enabling it to hop nimbly among the rugged stones in search of food. It is seeking the few seeds buried deep beneath the searing sand. Instantly, the viper freezes, every one of its senses now focused on a single target. It flattens its body against the ground, becoming nearly indistinguishable from its surroundings, a perfect art of concealment. Its eyes, cold and unblinking, are locked on the jerboa. The snake begins to move, but not with its former fluid grace. Instead, it is a slow, silent approach, calculating its prey's slightest movement. The jerboa, its tiny nose twitching constantly, remains completely unaware of the lethal danger lurking just below. And then the viper stops, utterly still. The tiny rodent, absorbed in its search for food, has unwittingly hopped straight into the killing zone. The snake strikes, a flash of muscle and venom. The bite is lethally precise. Venom, a complex chemical cocktail, is rapidly injected, paralyzing the nervous system in seconds. Now, the snake begins the slow, astonishing process of swallowing its prey whole. Along a rugged coastline, waves break against the cliffs, and the salt spray hangs in the air. Just below, life stirs beneath a watery mirror that glitters like polished metal. A shoal of silver fish moves in unison, their flanks reflecting the sun in liquid flashes. A synchronized rhythm pulses through the clear coastal water like a single shared heartbeat. High above, sharp, patient eyes scan the patterns of the waves and the sudden dark shapes beneath. A flock of northern gannets holds its station against the wind, every eye trained upon the cold depths below. One peels away from the formation, folds its wings, and plunges, a silent arrow cleaving the air. It hits the surface with a clean strike, a burst of white spray that closes in an instant. Beneath the churned water, the target scatters, then reforms, like a fleeting thought. But long talons have already opened, reversed, and locked onto the slippery scales of a fish. Power and precision combine in one efficient movement, just enough to ensure survival. For a moment, its wings beat beneath the waves, fighting the cold pull of the sea. Its body erupts from the water, which falls away in crystalline beads threaded with sunlight. The bird adjusts its grip, turning the fish head first to reduce the drag of wind and spray. Then it beats hard, rising above the scent of salt and algae, carrying its shimmering prize. The cliffs receive the wind once more, and the sea closes over, ready for another turn of the wheel. Across the vast sky, a martial eagle soars, tracing graceful circles against the blue. Its eyes survey the land below, searching for prey. It continues to circle. At the center of that circle, on the ground, a rabbit freezes, its eyes wide with fear. It seems to have sensed the imminent danger. Its long ears twitch, straining for any sound. Suddenly, the eagle stoops, descending like an arrow to strike the hapless rabbit. The eagle grips the rabbit in its talons and carries it back to its nest on a high cliff where its chick awaits a returning parent. As the fire dies on the horizon, the savanna exhales a long, weary breath after a day of survival. The warmth recedes like a silent tide, leaving behind a darkness that creeps across the cracked earth. The wind no longer carries cries, only memories, an echo so faint it stills the very grass. Dust still hangs in the air, glittering with unfinished stories from a place where every footstep was a gamble with fate. The woodlands stand silent, not in peace, but in the held breath before the first call of hunger. Beneath the tall grasses, the earth is a chronicle, recording the pursuits, the stumbles, the last ragged breaths. The arena is empty, but the echoes remain, returning slowly, like animals retracing their own scent trails. The sound of flight, the impact, and the ownerless fury condense into dew, clinging to each blade of grass. There are no triumphs here, only the quiet tally of heartbeats that carry on through the night. In wild Nigeria, even the strongest bleed. Every scar is a lesson paid for in flesh. What remains is not glory, but the heavy responsibility of continuation, a burden that demands humility. In the quiet, nature stitches its wounds with darkness, with breath, and with the time needed for renewal. Then the eastern rim will begin to bleed light, resetting the ancient drumbeat in the sky and in the chest of the land. The hunt begins again, and the lesson of survival once more exacts its non-negotiable price, so that life may continue.